Hi, Libra, or anyone watching for Libra. This is a love and general tarot reading for the month of December. So let's see what comes out for you. Bottom of your deck, 10 of Wands in the reverse. Ooh, some frustration here for sure. All right, so lots of work having been put into a situation. This could be around love or work. It feels like there's somebody that you're dealing with that has a tendency to get triggered very easily when you ask questions. Interesting. So, this is a partnership. And I feel like this person, anytime you inquire about their plan moving forward, what it's going to look like, or perhaps why they're moving the way they do, this is somebody that gets very upset. And it's almost like they say something along the lines of, if you don't like it, leave, or if this isn't what you want, go be somewhere else. That's frustrating. So this is hard because this feels like you're walking on eggshells around this situation for the month of December, maybe trying to keep it light. I would just say be cautious of giving into whoever this is, whether it's like a boss or a significant other, because it feels like you can't assert yourself without this person becoming upset. For some of you, this could be your child. They have a tendency to get like really spazzy if you ask them to do something. It's almost like things are fine until you critique or question this person or this situation. And I think that's really frustrating to you because however this plays out, you have a vested interest in this, right? You have just as much of a right to know what's going on as the person that you're trying to talk to. And for some reason, it's like as soon as they feel triggered, they want to throw it all away or they want to push you away. So that's got you in the moon energy of just not really knowing how to go about dealing with this. You're looking at this and it feels like this is where you're supposed to be. This is the right thing for you in your mind or in your heart. But there's something about this where it's like, gosh, how much longer am I going to have to keep avoiding the elephant in the room or not talking about whatever this is? For some of you, there's somebody in your life that you want them to get help. Maybe they need some kind of like therapy, or they need to go to rehab, or maybe they're doing something that's not beneficial to themselves, right? And they just want you to kind of avoid it. But when you care about somebody, that feels pretty impossible, especially with what I'm seeing here, because it feels like this is somebody that you love, but it also feels like their actions are directly affecting your quality of life, probably because you're worried. If this is about work, then maybe you can see something within the design or the structure of the system that's headed for failure. You could have a business partner even where you're like, hey, we really need to reassess this plan. There's something about this that just is not, it's actually leading towards like a disaster, right? For some of you, this has to do with money, and there's like a lump sum that perhaps you're sharing with someone else and you're trying to invest in the future and they're just kind of squandering the resources. And so I feel like that's scaring you or that's frustrating you. I feel as though you're looking at the situation this month and there's an energy of perhaps allowing the chips to fall where they may. So be a little bit mindful of that, because I know that you're in a situation where it feels like you're the only one that's the voice of reason here. And it's tempting to want to just say like, okay, fine. If you know best, then you figure it out and whatever happens will happen, right? But the thing is that it looks like this will directly affect you in some sort of way that could cause you some problems, right? What I'm seeing here is that it feels like you have a better understanding of this situation than the person who may be holding more control, or if they don't have all the control, then they just have like quite a temper, or they get so angry when you try to point out what feels so obvious. I'm not sure why this person seems to be avoiding this the way that they are, but you may have to use your resources in a different way, because the problem is like, how do you get whatever this is to see your perspective without having it all blow up, and then they see, okay, yeah, Libra was right, but now we're in a mess, right? This is tough, because if you weren't so enmeshed in whatever this is, I would probably say to go ahead and go with your original plan of just letting things happen the way they happen. But because it does look like adverse outcome would affect you, we need to find a different plan for you. I do feel like you're being told to lead by example. So that's kind of like trying to create a buffer. This situation, it looks like it probably will blow up. And that's why you being so practical, you're like, there's only so much I can do. They're going to have to figure it out for themselves. But you're actually being advised to look at the situation the way that you do from like a bird's eye perspective. So rather than just saying like, okay, there's nothing I can do, the situation's going to blow up, take it one step past that and say, the situation's going to blow up. What do I do then? And start planning for that. Okay. Because there is an opportunity in this, even though it doesn't feel like there's an opportunity in this. And I think that this is going to be a very teachable moment for whoever is involved in this, because they're kind of destroying something that looks like there's no reason for their behavior. I don't know why this person is so stubborn, but rather than look at everything that's going wrong, and I know that's hard because you're a very practical person, if you could look at what will happen after this, what this will create, the opportunity that's actually going to come from this situation falling apart, you can position yourself to be somewhere where you actually gain or benefit from this thing not working out. And I know that sounds really weird, but that's what I'm seeing. So you're going to be required to pivot. It's kind of like pick your battles with whatever this is. It looks like you're going to have to be very analytical, very strategic, because this is all going to come to a head, but it's actually going to present another opportunity for you to do something differently. So like I said, rather than go down with the ship, maybe find a way to make a plan for what that will look like afterwards. And I know that's kind of weird. I'm not sure exactly what this is about. It feels like somebody really needs to fix something in their life. Maybe you even gave this person an ultimatum and they're just so stubborn that you're realizing that they're not going to change. They're not going to shift, because I feel like you're trying to be reasonable. You're trying to tell someone why this is not the best option or why this isn't what they want. But getting them to work with you seems to be what's really difficult. This situation is headed for disaster. And it's like, you see it. I almost wonder if this person isn't like trying to make you second guess yourself. Like, oh, you're just jealous of my, whatever. And it's like, no, I'm really trying to tell you, like, that hot streak is going to run out, or, that company isn't what you think it is. Kind of frustrating. But I feel like the hard part is that you have to stop worrying about whether or not this person is going to see the truth, because you're just exhausting yourself. And I know that sounds weird, right? This person, they will come to the realization that everything you were saying was the truth, because I feel like right now this person is just in this really weird place of acting like you're trying to undermine them or you're being a pessimist. But this person is going to see that you only wanted what was best for them. And eventually it will come full circle. You'll actually have an opportunity to decide if this is something that you want to give more time to after this falls apart, right? This could even be somebody getting into a relationship and you don't know how to feel about that. Like, I wish that you wouldn't do that right now. Maybe you co-parent with somebody and they're off doing something weird and you're trying to tell them, right? This is not as much a lesson for you as it is for them. So I'm going to let you know that. And in knowing that, you can actually mitigate how this affects you, because you can wash your hands of this in the sense of like, somebody was telling me that a good way to look at things is like, it's not my fault, but it is my problem. because that takes away the emotional attachment to the outcome. Like, it's not my fault this person is making these weird choices or they're not listening to reason, but it will be my problem when this blows up in their face, right? So maybe you could try to take that standpoint, because I've started to apply that logic to my own life, and it actually helps me a lot, because I don't get sucked into like the emotional reaction of not being able to make something work, right? It's not my fault. I couldn't have done anything better or different. It's just my problem to fix, right? And I know it sucks for you guys because you shouldn't have to be the fixer, but it seems like you're very closely tied to this situation. It could even be somebody you live with is doing something that you're just like, why would you do that here, right? I don't agree with that. So for you, it looks like you're kind of trying to explore your options as far as like, how do you gain your footing in this situation when it feels like you're at such a disadvantage, you know? As far as the universe, the purpose of this is to make this person lose out, and to learn how to be more careful, right, about where they put their interest, or even for some of you, this person, like I said, isn't doing something. This is shining a light on how stubborn this person is, because they're going to have to fall on their own, right? And like I said, for some of you, this is a child, and you're trying to warn them about something, and you're speaking from experience, you know, and instead it's like, no, you just don't want me to have fun. And it's like, no, I was literally you. I literally did that, and this is what happened. This is a learning experience for this person because they're like young minded, you know, or maybe they don't have a lot of experience. So spirit is working on their ego, you know, and I wouldn't take their rebellious nature as a reflection of like your worth or how they feel about you. This really is just a lesson that they have to learn on their own. And your obstacle is that you're a guide, but you can't like control. You get what I'm saying? Like, all you can do is model the behavior that you would like this person to show by like leading by example. But the more you push, I feel like the more this person is going to either pull away or they're going to push back, right? And then that's just creating more and more chaos. Let's get some love messages for you. Kind of a weird energy. I feel like for you guys, you had a reading that probably had the most to do with someone else for your general message. So this could definitely be something that you're dealing with in the home. But just try to remember that like there will be a after the storm. There will be a and then. Like, this is not final, but it is a giant mess. So I'm not sure what this is about, and I hope you guys figure it out. But try to only show up for the parts of this that really do concern you, because this is not your burden. I feel like you're really losing some sleep over this month. All right, let's see. Love. All right, somebody is being probably a little bit deceptive to you this month. I feel like you are looking at the facts of a situation and something does not measure up. You'll be finding out this month why that is. So that's good. I mean, that'll be revealed to you. I feel like if you have kind of this inkling that someone is doing something and then being dishonest about it, you should definitely take note of that, because there's an energy of perhaps someone trying to make it seem like you're overreacting this month. And I don't feel like that's the case. I feel like you know exactly what you need to know. There's something that's very triggering. It feels like this has been a reoccurring issue, right? So if you have a partner that's like always working late, or there's like weird charges on a card you share, or, you know, those are red flags. It's a matter of like, what do you do with them? Because the thing is that I'm just going to flat out tell you, if somebody did something in the past that caused a huge uproar between the two of you, they're doing it again and they're lying to you about it. So I don't know what that is, because for each of you, it's going to be something different. But this person is trying to make it seem like you're overreacting, or you're like projecting, and the reality is that they're back to doing whatever it is that they said that they wouldn't do again. So that could be anything with this Knight of Pentacles in reverse. It could be an addiction, it could be cheating, it could be gambling, it could be for some of you it could be like a eating disorder. Your partner has an eating disorder, or problems with like self-harm or something. Like there's something here where this person has made a decision to dip their toes back in waters that you've asked them not to, or that they promised that they would not. And I feel like you are seeing it. You're starting to see the signs of like, okay, they acted like this back when they were doing this thing, but this person is not being forthcoming. So this is something that's been happening for a while. For those of you who know exactly what this is, you probably be like, oh yeah, I noticed signs of this towards the maybe the second month of the year, or the first 6 months of the year. I noticed this person starting to fall back into some kind of old patterns that they were in last time, right? Last time this happened, or I found this out about them. I feel like this is happening because you're supposed to be looking at whether or not you can trust whoever this is. There's something about this person where I feel like they may not be meant to be a part of your future. And I think that's because they're not trustworthy, but it's like they also don't consider you when they're making this choice, okay? In this moment, whatever this is, their attitude is just kind of like, all right, well, if Libra leaves, who cares? Do you get what I mean? Because whatever this is, it's like got such a hold on this person that they want it to the point that they're willing to sacrifice your level of comfort or how you feel, and I think that you've seen this before. And so you're trying to decide this month, does it make sense to stay in this situation? Is there a possibility that you could be wrong about your suspicions? Is it a possibility that this person could do something different, right? Maybe if you confront them different, or, maybe if you don't necessarily bring this up, could they just figure it out on their own? I feel like for you, this is kind of a confusing month. And that's what I was seeing in the bottom of your deck, where I was saying somebody gets very triggered if you bring something up, and so maybe that's why you're feeling like you're walking on eggshells. 7 of Swords. I don't like this for you guys. I feel like you're going to find out that there's a third energy in your situation. That's all there is to it, okay? Whether that's an addiction, a behavior, could be a mental thing where this person is not taking medication and they're lying about it, like they're not taking the medication they need. You're going to discover that though, because I'm seeing that this person they're going to probably end up telling you, and if they don't tell you, then someone in their circle is going to say something that is being spoken of out of concern, right? Or maybe like you are close to your husband or wife's coworkers and they say something like, man, your wife has been missing so much work. Is she okay? And you're looking like, wait, what? What do you mean missing work? Like, I've been watching her leave every morning. You get what I'm saying? So there's some kind of information. I think if it doesn't come directly from your person, it's going to be brought to you by someone else, or you may witness them doing whatever this is, and it's going to show you probably that this person is in a bad place. They could be trying to gloss over how they feel or their behavior, and you could be saying like, I'm worried, you're acting weird. Then you show up to something and you see them there and you're like, whoa, dude, you're like super high or something, right? Like there's something here where you're going to get a reality check as far as like, not only is this situation that this person's been dealing with not done, but the extent of how little control they actually have over whatever this is. So for those of you who live with this person, or this person has keys to your house, please be very, very careful, because it feels like something could happen where perhaps you end up losing out financially and you're not knowing who did it, or you're like, man, like my house got broken into, and then your landlord says something like, oh yeah, I saw your boyfriend here yesterday morning, and you're like, wait, that's when my house got robbed. I'm not saying that this person is like a criminal, but I am saying that this is somebody who may, if they have a habit, borrow things from people without telling them with the intention of paying it back later. Okay, I'll just put it like that. So just be protective of your things, okay? Because I feel like this person they're not really in a space where they're cognizant of their decisions at this time. And oftentimes when people are in like active addiction, or they're super depressed, or whatever the case is, or maybe this person has a sex addiction, I don't know, right? But when people get like that, they're not thinking about the outcome, right? They're just thinking about the moment and getting what they need in that moment. So I would say to perhaps protect yourself. It looks like you're kind of thinking about doing that this month, maybe switching money into different accounts, or, you know, maybe putting some things at a different residence in case you need to stay somewhere else. As far as the universe goes for this, I hate to tell you, but it kind of feels like you guys are dealing with a karmic situation. And so the universe wants you to take a look at what you're trying to build with this person, and to really be realistic about whether or not they're in a position to do that. Okay. Simply because if you continue on with this, the situation could actually get worse, and you could find that you lose more in the future. I'm not telling you guys what to do, but all of this is coming to a head because there's a lot that's not being addressed. And so it kind of feels like this is going to have to blow up in a way that you can't not address it anymore. And I feel like that has less to do with you and a lot more to do with this person, right? This person that gets triggered so easily. So this is happening to kind of blow this all up, so that now we have to talk about this, and you don't get to storm out, and you don't get to get angry, and you don't get to tell me that I'm making things up, because here it is right here. You get what I mean? As far as this person goes, there's a tendency to want to try to hold on to this, because I feel like there was a time when you knew this person before they were doing whatever this is, and you are trying to get back to that place, you know, and so it feels like you're kind of shouldering the burden of whatever this is, in hopes that eventually this person will feel loved enough to do something different, or they'll feel like you're committed enough for them to do better, right? But the hard part about this is that you can't make anybody change, you know, until they're ready. It feels like there's a strong possibility that you're so wrapped up in whatever this is that you're actually missing out on other things in your life that would be very helpful to you or feel very successful, right? There's also an energy of perhaps putting this situation and so much intention and energy into this situation that you're putting your own needs on the back burner. So I'd say be very careful about doing that. I don't feel like, Libra, you're the one with the problem when I'm looking at this. So that might be something that you really want to take stock of, is like, if you're dealing with somebody who has a bunch of stuff and you have no stuff, you know, why are you collecting relationships that have this kind of baggage? You get what I'm saying? Like, how, I get that you care, you get what I'm saying, but like, how would your life be different if you weren't in direct proximity of whatever this is? Because this is a lot. This is not a small thing. You know what I mean? I feel like you guys would have a lot of success in other areas of your life, or perhaps you already do have success in a lot of other areas of your life. So you're being advised to look at this and kind of see it for what it is. You're going to decide what you want to do with it because you have free will. But perhaps this situation has run its course, you know, because with the wheel of fortune in the reverse and the devil in the reverse, it's like you're not able to heal. You're just like having to keep replaying the same cycle over and over with this person, who doesn't even seem like they're aware of how their actions are affecting you. You get what I mean? All right, let's get a love message for you guys. Sorry, this is heavy. And for those of you who this isn't love, this could just be a kid. You know, maybe you have a child that is suffering, you know, and they're going through things that it's like, man, I want to be there, but at the same time, this is dangerous for me to be here. This is hard for me. This is unfair, right? You got romance. Cupid's arrow strikes. So what I'll say about that is, with the spread I'm seeing down here, it feels like there is an opportunity after a period of being by yourself that you could manifest something different, right? And maybe that's why all of this is coming about, because there's someone else in your life that would be a better fit for you, but you can't give to that because you're so wrapped up in this or hoping that this changes. So maybe this is necessary for you to really see this and be like, you know what? I need to stop passing up good opportunities hoping that you become the person that you were when I first met you. You get what I mean? It feels like this is very, very karmic in nature, but it also feels like there's a possibility of a soulmate relationship that if you could kind of disconnect from this, you could have, and it would be very good for you, right? It's just a matter of figuring out what you want to do as far as this world in the reverse energy. You got wait, don't rush into it, allow nature to take its course. So, you know, you can't save this person from themselves, but I do feel like you can definitely, like I said, try to mitigate some of that blowback. Passion. A magnetic and seductive quality surrounds you at present. Enjoy it. Bottom of your deck, new beginning. A new adventure awaits. Embrace it and live your dreams passionately. So lots of new, right? And kind of like that world in the reverse energy. When we don't let things go, even though they're past our expiration date, oftentimes that's when that tower energy comes into play, right? For your financial card, you got have courage to ask for and accept help. Asking for help is a sign of strength, as is accepting it as it is offered to you. Very often when you ask God for help, prayers are answered through other people. Be sure to accept this assistance as well as give it to others as you are guided. So, you know, it's very possible that you're trying to help this person or tell them like, hey, this is what you should be doing, or I'm worried about you. And they're rejecting that, but that's the universe's way of showing you what it looks like when there's help available, right? And perhaps you have trouble with receiving. Maybe you don't allow people to give to you or do for you, right? And maybe that is kind of that karmic lesson of like, it feels so isolating to be with someone that doesn't allow you to show up for them. Maybe that's something that you need to work on, is allowing people to show up for you, right? All right, let's get a self-care. Choice. Reconsider a commitment. You have the right to change your mind. So time to kind of reevaluate what your commitment is to this situation. And you got treasure chest. An unforeseen windfall of new abundance comes to you now. So many new things. Libra, I know that this is a little bit frustrating, but with this world in the reverse energy, it's really just old cycles closing out that it feels like perhaps you were hoping would shift and could come with you as life is moving on. But this is going to require you to make a big decision to be able to have whatever fresh start it is that it looks like is in the offing for you. All right, Libra, this is December. Good luck. I'm sending you guys so much love because I know that this is a lot, but you take very good care of yourselves, and I will speak to you again soon. Bye.